I'm Laura Laddick, founder of the New Jersey Ghost Hunter Society, the largest paranormal investigating organization in the state of New Jersey. We were founded back in 1998. We provide investigations free of charge for anyone who calls us who suspects paranormal activity in their homes. We also provide training for people who've had experiences and want to know more about how to investigate from a paranormal scientific perspective. Today, I'm here with Nathan Schoonover, who is my lead investigator, and I'm also with Reid, my technical manager. Between the three of us, I think we have an excellent team to provide what the viewer would like to see in terms of professional and scientific exploration of the paranormal.
My name is Nathan Schoonover. I'm known to many as the Demon Hunter. For the past 4 years, I've hosted the Ghostman and Demon Hunter show on the internet. It is one of the top 10 paranormal radio broadcasts in America and has been for the last 4 years. I am a paranormal investigator. I've spent the last 20 years researching not so much hauntings, but why people believe there are hauntings. I've gotten to work with psychics, witches, demonologists, and occultists.
And you're also a CPI through the NJGHS.
I am a certified paranormal investigator for the New Jersey Ghost Hunter Society.
And Rob is my team leader for our Central Jersey division. We actually have two divisions right now, North Jersey division and a Central Jersey division. And Rob, in addition to being the tech manager, he is the tech guru with anything that we need. Wired and fired, there's Rob. And he does an excellent job. And you also run the Central Jersey division of our organization. And, you know, take it away.
My name is Reid. I've been investigating for close to 15 years now. And as Laura has said, I try to go with the way of technology, thermal imaging, EVP analysis, as well as EMF detectors, all different types. I also did a show for Travel Channel, Mysterious Journeys, at Eastern State Penitentiary, where we investigated the spooky old prison. It was pretty neat, and we did come up with some stuff.
Place.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting.
You know, as far as being on the show and being a team competing on Paranormal Challenge, I think the New Jersey Ghost Hunter Society has a good shot. I mean, we have, wow, between the three of us, over 50 years of combined experience paranormal investigating.
Yeah.
Nathan, I like the way you bring to the table that really good background. You've done a lot with psychics. And
Psychics, I started my original training actually studying religion, and, you know, because I was scared to death of the idea of demons. So my mother convinced me that if you were afraid of something, the best thing to do was to learn about it. So I started tackling demons. I was going to theology classes at the age of like 13 to try and find out more about this subject. You know, we've talked before about, you know, squirrels running through the roof. You know, one person might jump up and say it's a ghost, and another person would immediately jump up and say, you know, it's squirrels in the roof. And you know, we would go in.
So we really do have squirrels. My upstairs neighbors. Yeah.
The first thing we would do is go look in the attic, but some people would just jump to the conclusion it's a ghost
And assume.
And then you have other people who just jump to the assumption that it's a demon. And you know, so why?
Well, demons are in vogue right now. I don't know if you've noticed, but it's definitely all the rage.
Well, so are ghosts. It used to be you didn't get called in to do a ghost hunt because people were ashamed that they might be in a haunted house.
Yeah.
And you didn't get called in unless it got to the point where they wanted that ghost out of the house.
And now it's more mainstream as well, so more people are likely to come out, like with your meetings that you have, and it's open to the general public as well, every monthly meeting, that they come out and they actually open up, which is good that it's more mainstream and seen on TV a lot now, because people are willing to open up, and I think we're a different generation now that's willing to discuss that and isn't ashamed, as Nathan said, to come out and talk about this. And this really helps us out a lot too.
I used to be ashamed just being the investigator.
Yeah.
I mean, not ashamed.
Oh, you didn't tell people at a party.
You didn't say a word.
But now if you say it at a party, everybody surrounds you and you're the person that everybody wants to talk to.
And everybody says, I have a place that you have to check out.
Exactly. I always ask when they say that, where can I set up my equipment? I may be far into the tech end of it, but as well I do open my mind up to these things and feel these things as well. Like we were discussing earlier about the EMF field, sometimes you can feel it, and you have a high sensitivity to it as well.
Yeah, I get sick from it,
Yeah.
so I don't really like it too much.
I have a similar reaction to infrasound.
Okay.
Yeah, infrasound can leave me dizzy.
I'm familiar with building from the ground up, whether it be residential, commercial, industrial. I've done it all. So I could tell if there might be a pipe in that location, or if you're bringing feeders in for the panel, the service entrance to the house. You may read a high EMF field, even though you may have all the circuit breakers turned off to the house or the building, you still have the service coming in, and if it's near a water pipe coming into the house, that current running through those lines will indirectly put an EMF field in the copper. Quartz, if it's an older house that was built in the 18th or 19th century, there's a lot of quartz, and that will amplify an EMF field as well. So there's a lot of things in a building, I think, that with my construction background, electrician, I've been in and out in crawl spaces just doing that alone.
See, that's not my side of the field, but I carry a stud finder when I go on an investigation to try and find those wires in the wall so I know where they're coming from.
And that's even with the thermal imaging camera. If I was to set it up on a wall, the studs, the wood behind it, whether it be metal or wood studs, depending on the building, the year it was built, you can actually see them through the sheetrock and where the screws are, so you can know where there's a stud or even where there's a leak. I mean, if you think about it, if there's a big leak in a basement, that might feel colder or it might be more humid, and that'll allow the EMF field to be high as well. You really have to incorporate all those things into it.
I've always wanted a thermal imaging camera, but now I just want one so I can hang pictures on the wall.
Oh yeah, it's amazing.
That's important. I mean, that's not every investigator has your background to know, and like, let's put it this way: there could be a more, like, I come from the more corporate office, office worker by day type of thing, and so I would not have clued in. I may have fallen victim to, like, saying, "Ooh, wow, we do have a cold spot here." Ooh, but at least I can rely on Rob that he knows. No, this is how we can roll all that out. It's good that we have this combination.
Well, and those things do combine, because, like, from history that I've had working on cases, somebody will say, "I always feel like somebody's walking up behind me on the stairs," and first thing I'll do is I'll interview them. The second thing I'll do is I'll go out with a little level and check the stairs, because if one of those stairs kind of leans back and somebody's walking up the stairs, their equilibrium is going to get thrown off, and they're going to think that somebody's behind them pushing them. And it's just a mental trick that can be played on a person, but you start to learn those things after interviewing people again and again and again to do it.
The upshot of all of this, yes, now we can be comfortable and admit who we are, what we do at parties and in social events, but it's also made it where people who really have situations and who need this kind of help have groups like ours that I would say are more professional and more dedicated to it. We're not just like, we didn't all wake up one morning and say, "Oh, this would be fun. Let's go do
we're
this."
Gonna get famous from this.
Oh, we're gonna get famous.
Yeah.
We want our 15 minutes of fame. No, we've been doing our time in the trenches long before it was in vogue and popular,
and
because we
a
want
lot
to
of
help
our money's
people.
on it.
Oh, yeah.
It's a very expensive hobby, or passion, as I like to call it, more so than a hobby anymore.
Because people always say, "Was that your hobby?" And I'm like, "No, I'm pretty passionate about it."
Yeah, it's
You're
a passion, and it's a lifestyle as well.
Mm-hmm.
And our sons and daughters and our family members, they suffer a lot of our time being away as well.
Yeah, I sit
Coming
there
back in at
thinking,
5 in the morning.
either the kid, this is, someday a therapist is going to thank me for how many hours my kids have spent on the couch, or my kids are just be like, "This is so normal,"
Yeah, yeah. Okay, what we have here, it's at an undisclosed location from investigation from about 2 to 3 years ago. Due to its nature and client confidentiality, I can't say where it's at. But as you'll notice, this was taken with a Digimax digital camera. This house, actually, someone hung themselves in the basement, which is down through to the left. But as you'll notice over here, the anomaly on the camera, as you can see, is translucent there. And what it looks like is actually a person peeping out of the doorway that you can't see. This to the left. This is a closet here, obviously. And there's a doorway to the left that led to the kitchen, and down to the right was the stairwell for the basement.
Now,
Did you hear the laugh? Let's go back to that. I'll cut halfway through.
So that was nobody else on the team?
No one else on the team. What had happened was a bulb was thrown at us, a light bulb. And the same thing, we were down the end of this hallway, and where this was where two dancers had perished in a fire back in the 30s or 40s at an Asbury theater, famous theater.
Okay. I
Up
know
in
which
there,
one.
where the dressing rooms.
Yeah, okay.
And we went back, and there was pictures of that hallway down there. Pieces of cinder block were missing, and we asked one of the investigators, we went down to the laptops, because this is a big deal, okay? They went in and zoomed in on their picture. The light bulb was sitting inside an empty spot of one of the cinder blocks that was thrown out, because that's where it came from. We looked at the pictures and actually seen it sitting in there. That was taken 5-10 minutes before this incident happened. So you listen again. Ronnie was standing just to the right of me, and I was standing in the doorway. And this bulb got thrown. You can hear it hitting the ground. And I have to remind you that there was lights in this hallway as well, so it wasn't total darkness.
Okay.
And there was investigators down to the left, far away from us, and you'll hear them in the background.
Is there this many with us?
Now you can hear it hit several things, like it was launched up, hit a ceiling, and then fell down.
Is there
And
this many with us?
And there was no way that it fell out of anything.
Right.
And we could not figure it out to this day.
I came onto the landing where you could go downstairs or upstairs.
Mhm.
And I had my digital recorder going, and I get on that landing, I got hit in the face with cigarette smoke. And thankfully the recorder was going, and that's when I said, if there's someone here, can you tell me your name? And it was like a bunch of little voices kind of chime in, but what I could discern from it, well, let me play it and then I'll explain what I think I hear.
Tell me your name, that'd be great. There's someone here.
So it's almost like you can hear someone saying his name, but I can't make it out. But he says, committed no crimes. And then you hear him go, phew. He exhales the cigarette smoke. So listen.
Tell me your name, that'd be great. $12:30-ish. It's actually 1:02.
Oh, wow.
1 o'clock-ish. 12:30-ish. It's actually 1:02.
That was pretty good.